And so I want to invite Tom. Thank you, Tom and Patty, for coming in. And please come on up and share with us some updates and information.
Thank you very much, Sandy. Can you guys hear me okay? Is that any better if I hold it further away?
A lot better.
Thank you for the board for allowing me to come here and speak and be with all you tonight. My wife and I have actually attended the first ever Saab Owners convention back in 1983 in Galena, Illinois. Can I tell them what happened then, Patty? No? All right. Now, did I say that last year? I can't say it this year then. But Jerry's right on that story. He's 100% correct on everything. He left a couple things out. He was the first phone call I got after the Vigan was wrecked. Offered to fix it for free. He said, will you think about it and call me back? And I'm like, Jerry, this is in the land of no-brainers. You're going to fix it for free, and I got to think about it and call you back? What's there to think about? Yeah, I'll take you up on that offer. So we did that right away. And the other thing he left out was it was Patty's nephew. He flew from Omaha, not Des Moines, doesn't matter. But he has cystic fibrosis, and we contacted the Make-A-Wish Foundation. He really wanted to be part of the Saab Heritage Car Museum and do something to help us. So he said, can I fly out and drive that car back? And we said, of course you can. In telling Jerry that, as soon as Jerry found out we had contacted Make-A-Wish, he said, no, I'll take care of it. And he flew out our nephew plus his girlfriend at his dime and didn't charge anything. So a big round of applause for Jerry. The car looks amazing. The Saab Club there, Rocky Mountain Saab Club, worked to make it better than new, better than it was. It was a Chicago car with a lot of corrosion and stuff on it. So if you look under the hood now, it's just gorgeous. So it's really, really good. We appreciate that. I'll talk a little bit real quick. The biggest question I get, and I'm sure about 90% of you are sitting there go, why in the heck are you in Sturgis, South Dakota? Okay. And I get that. We thought about it too. We looked at, before we put the offer on this property, we were ready to jump on a plane and make an offer in Phoenix. Then you'd have been saying, why in the heck are we in Phoenix? 115 degrees. But, we also looked at property in the Minnesota area, Des Moines, Iowa. We found a beautiful piece of property there. We looked at, several locations. We were actually under contract twice in the Black Hills on another piece of property that we eventually weren't able to close to because of title issues. But the big thing that Sturgis offers, you heard something about that motorcycle rally they hold there once a year? Upwards of 750,000 people come to the Black Hills for that rally. Okay? And I just guarantee you this, they don't come for Sturgis, they come to ride their motorcycle in some of the most beautiful scenery in our country. The Black Hills is absolutely gorgeous. I checked the humidity there today. It was a whopping 20%. Most evenings, Patty's got to grab a jacket. Once the sun goes down, it cools off, it's gorgeous. I like to say mice and mold chase me out of Iowa. This is Iowa weather here today. This is what we get to enjoy every single day. So with the Sturgis location, you get this beautiful countryside, that all these motorcycles, there's about 6 car clubs, soon to be 7, hold their conventions there in some form or fashion to travel around the hills and enjoy it. Where the building we bought is a mile from the national park. The interstate, you can go 80 miles an hour legally. So, there's a lot of advantages to being there, but really it was to preserve the cars. After we joined forces with Bill Jacobson and family to buy the Heritage cars when they were for sale at auction in 2012. We now have 13 of those Heritage cars. And after buying those, my wife and I really thought about everything and said, what are we going to do with these cars? I mean, they're bigger than us. If it was just the cars we'd restored, it's not a big deal. But when you get your hands on the Heritage cars, to me that's a big deal. That's a lot of those cars, they spent over $100,000 on restoration. So everything became different for us at that point. We thought long and hard about it, and we decided to set up a 501c3 nonprofit. And some of you will be familiar with those, some are not. But basically, whatever we put into the 501c3, we can never get back out. If for some reason this whole thing goes upside down, then everything has to be liquidated and all assets have to be donated to another 501c3 nonprofit. It's not like we get a mulligan. Can we just do this over, get cars back out, get our money back out of the building? Right now, we're pretty much 100% self-financed with Patty and I. We are getting donations from people. You know, we're trying to set something up long-term, something that will survive my life and go on past that. I grew up with nothing. My dad was an alcoholic, one of 7 kids. He never worked. So very, very, meager beginning here in life. My mom was a school teacher, didn't make over $10,000 until 1975. So, it's not like people gave us stuff. I started a business. We ran that now for 38 years, and we've been very blessed with some great employees. We've got 35 employees that run our transmission general repair shop. And with the money we've made, we've invested it. We've been lucky. We've made some really good investments. Bought farmland that was really, really cheap when no one wanted it. So we've built a foundation that we can then use now to do something for the museum. So that's our nest egg that we're going to split off and use a portion of that to get this whole thing started. But after that, it's going to take people like you sitting here to help support it. And we'll set up an endowment type fund. We're doing that with all the money we receive right now that comes in. We don't spend any of that. You're supposed to spend other people's money, OPM, we're not doing that. We're saving the money that people give us and hope to set that up into a long-term investment that can spit off income to support the museum on a daily, ongoing basis. Because we do have expenses just like anywhere else. Even though we're a nonprofit, we have to make enough money to pay the bills and keep the lights on. So, but South Dakota, it really, again, the Black Hills is different than the rest of South Dakota. And it's a beautiful place. You've got Mount Rushmore National Monument there. You've got Custard State Park, where you can come out in the fall, watch the buffalo roundup in the fall. I mean, over 10,000 people show up to the roundup. I mean, where else can you go and see a bunch of buffalo? You've got Devil's Tower, one of the most beautiful places. The Badlands, just outside of Rapid City. Needles Highway, it's this little bitty highway. You can, like I like to say, put your goggles on and goggle it. But Needles Highway, you can drive through, and as you come through the different tunnels, they frame Mount Rushmore. Crazy Horse National Monument. So there's a lot of cool things there. Over 3 million people a year come to the Black Hills. So when we go, we like driving around at night. You go to hotels. Upstate plates is all you see. People that come from all over the country. And everyone says the same thing. Oh my gosh, we love the Black Hills. Or they'll say, I've never been here, and now I am. I absolutely love it. Fell in love with the hills. And I know the Rocky Mountains are gorgeous, but they're also very steep, very high. We don't have that. Our highest mountain is about 7,300 feet. So you've got, maybe a 6-mile climb right outside the museum. We've got 9 and 10% grades up the paved road. So they're plenty steep to have fun on, but yet you won't hurt anything. So that's a little bit about what we're trying to do. Like I said, we're a 501c3. We're trying to get set up now to receive like your required minimum distributions, your QCDs, to where we could receive money from IRA accounts where people have to have minimum withdrawals every year. And I talked with an attorney in Connecticut, and he was going to offer his help because he's a Saab guy, and I told him what I had going CPA and attorney-wise. And he's like, my gosh, you're more lawyered up than Trump is. So we've probably spent 25 grand just on legal fees trying to get everything set up properly. And our goal is so that I can set it up so that I can help the museum as much as possible. Because we realize that this is something we're doing to kickstart, and we have to do it. No one wants to help Tom and Patty's car collection, but hopefully you want to help the Saab Heritage Car Museum USA. Because that's really where the money is all going to go, and what we'll need help with eventually. We'll get it started. We can get the plate moving, but it's going to take a lot of plate spinners to help keep it moving. We'll have about 85 cars on display. You want to pause there for a second? Most of those are Sonic 2-strokes. There were 258 of them made, and we have 8 of them on display. We run one at Bonneville Salt Flats and another car that was donated by the late Bertil Solenskog. We've set up, between the two cars and everything, we've set about 15 records at Bonneville Salt Flats with those cars. The hoods are all kind of popped open. We have a little system, me and Matt. You know, if it's missing the valve stem, that tire likes to go low. If the hood's open or cracked open, that means it doesn't have a battery. If the hood's shut all the way, it means it has a battery. Because as you can imagine, it's a lot of work just to keep air in tires, to keep batteries charged, and to keep tires clean. We had to clean all the cars, and I asked Matt for help, and I mean, he only helped with 4 or 5 dozen. But really, you know, I would like to say I challenge you, but really I need to charge you. I need to charge you with carrying on the Saab tradition and the heritage. Because if you don't pass it on to someone, if you don't let them get in your car and feel what it's like to be in a Saab or drive a Saab, we talked about the Saab spirit last night, you can't get that looking at a picture. You can only get that by hearing someone's enthusiasm, by being with that person, by getting in their car, giving them a ride in a vintage car, give them a ride in a modern car, let them feel it. If you can, let them drive the thing, right? It's just a car. Let them drive it. The spirit is alive. It's there. It's here tonight. It's that bond that comes when we get in that car says, I am part of you. It becomes part of your being. That's what makes Saab special. I work on cars for a living. No other car does that. Saab does. Some guy asked me today, how come everyone that has a Saab has 2? The spirit of Saab. You are the spirit of Saab. We need your help to keep this alive. Thank you very much.